Available now. Link below.
In a stunning turn of events, a dismissed juror from Donald Trump's so-called hush money trial has come forward, revealing the intense atmosphere inside the courtroom. As the former president faces accusations of intimidating prospective jurors, a CNN analyst warns that having a jury foreperson who watches Fox News may not be the advantage Trump's team hopes for. Brace yourselves for an exclusive look into the trial that could shape the future of American politics. And just like the dismissed juror in Trump's hush money trial, many Americans feel the weight of the current political climate bearing down on them. With tensions running high and trust in institutions eroding, it's crucial to prioritize our health and well-being. That is where turkesterone from Black Forest supplements comes in. This natural supplement, often referred to as nature's steroid, can help you build resilience and strength in the face of adversity. Don't let external pressures control your life. Take charge of your health today by visiting blackforestsupplements.com/news and take advantage of their special offer. Buy 2 bottles, get 1 free. Now, the Trump hush money trial has taken a dramatic turn as a dismissed juror speaks out about her experience in the courtroom. Kara McGee, who was ultimately excused from the jury pool, described the moment as jarring when she realized that the former president was just another guy whose fate hung in the balance. Watch.
Can you share your opinion of the former president and why you felt that you could be unbiased?
I'm not a fan. During COVID-19, I lived with someone who was immunocompromised, and I think his handling of COVID-19 was abysmal. I have a sister who's adopted from China, and the comments he made about China when he was running for president made her very anxious and therefore made me angry. There are policies he has supported that regard women and reproductive health that I do not agree with. And I think all of that needs to be addressed.
Perfectly programmed. Now, the juror also spoke with MSNBC's Vaughn Hilliard about the surreal experience of being in such close proximity to Trump during the questioning process. Let's take a look at that.
Right. I want to introduce everybody to our new friend, Kara. Kara, you're the first individual who I've talked to. You're from the East Village neighborhood. We're talking about a bunch of New Yorkers that were coming together. You got to know a bunch of them. You literally just left the courtroom.
Yes.
You were in seat, what number?
13.
Seat number 13. And you told me that you were dismissed because?
I work in cybersecurity. Due to the nature of my job, it would be extremely hard for me to be here for the hours needed for as long as this trial is going to be.
Schedule-wise.
Schedule-wise.
So did you have a sense that you were coming for the Trump trial yesterday when you got your jury summons and you knew what was happening today or on Monday?
So I didn't, but when I got my jury summons, I had texted my mom like, oh, I've got jury duty coming up. And she said, oh, I think mid-April is when the jurors for the Trump trial are getting called. And I was like, oh, wow, that would be fascinating. And then I get here yesterday, and there's a massive line, and Trump protesters and counter-protesters. And it's like, well, I'm either on that trial or one down the hall from that trial. And then our holding room had something like 250 people in it.
And you were part of that.
It was that.
And you were part of that first batch of 96.
Yes.
So you were inside of the courtroom the entire time yesterday during the jury selection process.
So I wasn't. I think I was in the first group of jurors that they brought into the courtroom,
right.
But we weren't in the courtroom all of them.
And you got to be one of the lucky ones that was seated in seat 13, that initial batch to answer the questions.
Yes.
You did answer the series of 42 questions. You were asked the question about what you thought of Donald Trump. I know that they were yes or no questions, but whether you could be fair and impartial to Donald Trump. And you responded.
I responded, yes, I can be fair and impartial. The question was, do you have any prior beliefs or opinions, I believe it was worded, about the defendant that would prohibit you from being fair and impartial? And I said I would be able to be fair and impartial.
According to her last video clip, doesn't sound quite accurate. Now, McGee's candid admission of her bias against Trump, citing his handling of the COVID pandemic as abysmal, underscores the challenges faced by both the prosecution and defense in selecting an impartial jury. The intense scrutiny of prospective jurors, political leanings, and media consumption habits has become a focal point of the trial. Now, CNN legal analyst Ellie Honig weighed in on the jury selection process, particularly focusing on the chosen jury foreperson who admitted to watching both Fox News and MSNBC. While Trump's team may view this as a potential advantage, Honig cautioned that the foreperson's media habits might not necessarily translate into a favorable outcome for the defense. Watch.
The 7 jurors who have now been sworn in, our senior legal analyst, Ellie Honig, is with me over here at the Magic Well. Ellie, what do we know about these jurors?
Yeah, well, for jury selection, it's a fascinating exercise, and it's really more art than science. You're trying to read human beings, inherently dynamic and unpredictable. But we've learned some really important, I think, potentially revealing details about these 7 jurors. These jurors will be on the case. So far, we know 4 males, 3 females. Let's take a quick look at what we have for juror number 1. Juror number 1 will be the foreperson. No magic powers associated with the foreperson. That's the person who generally communicates on behalf of the jury with the judge and tends to lead the deliberations in the room. What jumped out at me, this nothing remarkable in the bio, but this is a person who said he watches both Fox News and MSNBC. That's an interesting combination. If I'm Trump and I got anyone who watches any Fox News, I want a chance that that person's going to go on the jury. But I have to note this. In New York, I pick juries in New York, people sometimes confuse Fox News with the local Fox 5. And the jury form does not separate those two. So it could be that he was actually talking about the local news, which is really not partisan. Let's go to juror number 2. Juror number 2 is an oncology nurse. In New York, you get a lot of medical professionals, a lot of hospitals there. In my experience, medical professionals tend to be technical. They're capable of separating facts from emotion. And prosecutors want that. It really depends on how strongly you feel that your case is based when you get down to the technical elements of it. So you're always going to have nurses, doctors, medical professionals. A native New Yorker watches CNN. That's good to see. Juror number 3. Okay, juror number 3. Now, this is interesting. Well, this is a lawyer. And typically the rule of thumb is lawyers don't like lawyers on their juries. At the prosecutor's office, we almost automatically got rid of any lawyer. But it's also hard to do because you do have a lot of lawyers in Manhattan. The concern is that a lawyer might just take over the jury. They might say, listen, I'm a lawyer, forget about the judge, I know what's going to happen here. But it's hard to seat a jury with no lawyers on it. Interestingly, he does read the Wall Street Journal, which has been quite critical of this particular case in its editorial pages. So
Now, the trial took a tense turn when Judge Juan Merchan reprimanded Trump's lawyer Todd Blanche for the former president's alleged attempt to intimidate a prospective juror. Merchan warned that he would not tolerate any attempts to influence or intimidate jurors, emphasizing the importance of maintaining the integrity of the legal process. As the jury selection process concluded, a diverse group of 6 individuals were chosen to decide the fate of the former president. The jurors, whose identities remain protected, represent a cross-section of New York City with backgrounds ranging from healthcare and education to technology and the legal profession. Now, Trump, who has denied any wrongdoing in the hush money case, continues to characterize the trial as a politically motivated assault on America, and he argues that Democrats are utilizing the case to drain his resources and hinder his ability to campaign effectively for the 2024 presidential election. Now, the dismissal of the juror Kara McGee serves as a reminder of the polarizing nature of this trial and the challenges faced by the judicial system in ensuring a fair and impartial outcome. As the eyes of the nation remain fixed on this historic case, the selected jury will bear the weight of their decision, which could have far-reaching implications for the future of American politics. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. It's time for my final thought. The Trump so-called hush money trial is more than just a legal battle. It's a reflection of the deep divisions within our republic. As the dismissed jurors' experience reveals, personal biases and political affiliations can cloud even the most basic principles of justice. It falls upon the shoulders of the chosen jury to rise above the noise and render a verdict based on facts and evidence, ensuring that the rule of law prevails over partisan politics.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.